Hello everyone, thank you for joining this Oracle Live event. I'm extremely excited to be here. My name is Chris Leone. I'm the Senior Vice President of Application Development for our Oracle Cloud Human Capital Management. The theme of this session is the art of agility in the age of disruption. Who would have thought that the beginning of this year in the March timeframe, in just a few weeks, we would have to repivot our organization, understand what's happening with our company and our business, and figure out how we were going to pivot and move forward. That's what we'll be talking about today as we go through this session. We're going to cover three topics. First, we're going to talk a little bit around how some of our customers, and I'll call them heroes, have been able to adapt in a very short period of time and really pivot forward with agility. And we'll give you some great examples of what our customers have been able to do. Then we're going to talk about how we're delivering 4 key innovations that are going to help you in the future as the next potential disruption happens. Hopefully, nowhere near as substantial as the pandemic, but the next time you're asked to make changes quickly with agility, we're going to talk to you about how you can do that more effectively. And it might seem counterintuitive, but now is the time to start thinking about the next time you need to move and outpace change. And then finally, we're going to talk about how we partner together. One of the key things that I love to stress is the great partnership and the relationship we have with you, our customers. And we're going to talk about how that works, give you some highlights, and really excited to talk about our cloud customer community. So let's jump in. Well, we all know that the world has changed in dramatic ways. Our lives are different, whether we have frontline workers in our business or we're working from home. All of our meetings are on Zoom or on a web conference type system where we're communicating in much different ways than we have in the past. We're all managing with changing regulations, the CARES Act, or dealing with, different regulations state by state or country by country to be able to operate our business in some capacity. One of the things that we've all had to do is pivot with agility. And what this means is we had to make decisions very, very quickly about the state of our business, what we were able to do, how we were able to reopen, how we were able to operate. And it put us in a situation where we had to make very, very quick and rapid decisions. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how we thought about that and how we thought we could help you, our customers, and partner with you so we could both get through this pandemic together. So the first thing I thought about, or we thought about when we sat down with my team was, is there any product capabilities, technology that we could offer you, our customers, in order to help you manage a little bit better through the pandemic? And then we thought about other things that we can do to help listen to you and work with you to partner. So we did a few things. So the first thing that you may be aware of, we came out with something called the Employee Care Package. And the Employee Care Package is a number of solutions or capabilities that we offered at no cost to our customers in order to help you manage through the pandemic. And the centerpiece of that was our Workforce Health and Safety module. Talk to you a little bit more about what that does, but essentially it helps you track incidents from your employees related to the pandemic. We also started an online forum in our customer community, and that online forum has been extremely successful and popular. We've had over 7,500 posts and responses and views of the discussion thread. We've talked about topics such as furloughs, how to create new absence plans, how to manage your system for some of the new regulations. So we've really tried to partner and work with you in order so you can configure your system simply so you can manage through this pandemic. Our partners have stepped up. They've offered free consulting services to help deploy some of the employee care package. And we've worked with many of you individually around specific issues or specific concerns that you've had to help you cope and manage through this process. So all of us have had to make these decisions very, very quickly and rapidly and at pace, and we've really partnered well together in order for us to mutually make the best of this situation. So let's go through a few of what I call the heroes, our customers, what you've been able to accomplish in order to get your company safely back to work. So the first is just what we've seen customers adopt related to the employee care package. So we've had over 150 customers deploy our workforce health and safety module, which is great to help them track COVID-related incidents, whether they're employee-related or whether they're facility-related, to be able to track these incidents in an enterprise way. So they come in, they're dispositioned by a safety officer or by an HR professional, and being able to manage this at scale. Over 150 customers, and our partners also stepped up as well, offering free consulting services. Now let's spend a few minutes just going through some of these great stories. So one of the things that I love to talk about is there's so many great stories that have come out of a very bad situation. So by Meta, one of our great customers who's a global supplier of animal pharmaceuticals, they were deemed an essential business as part of the pandemic and the situation that they were under. They had 71 incidents or exposures that happened very, very early on, and they were tracking everything in a spreadsheet. And so by them being able to move to our workforce health and safety module, they were able to now do this at scale and be able to manage the disposition of the incidents that were coming in much more efficiently. So great story, great customer. Another one, and maybe my favorite story, and you'll hear Steve Miranda talk about Mount Sinai. So if you have heard of Mount Sinai, it's a hospital in the heart of New York. And they were toward the end of a very, very large HCM cloud implementation. And this was right at the peak of the pandemic in New York City, and they're right in the heart of New York City. We asked them, do you want to push your go-live date out? And they were so inspirational. They put their heads down. They said, look, we're going to deliver on what we started. And their employees were expecting a new system, more agile way to work. They were replacing multiple HR systems, a 30-year-old payroll system, 4 time and labor systems. And they were able to go live in the March timeframe for their 37,000 employees. And not only were they an inspiration to us, they were an inspiration to other customers. So we had a number of successful customers going live between the March and June timeframe, really when we were hit the hardest. And they would ask us, what is Mount Sinai doing? And all of them said, look, if they're doing it, we're going to finish this go live. So great story, super inspirational, great customer. The Cooperative Group is a little bit different. So the Cooperative Group is another great story. They've been in the cloud for about 4 years, operating at scale, about 100,000 employees. They're a large UK grocer. They do other things as well. Been a great customer, and they were already understood how to manage and outpace change and work in an agile manner. So they took the pandemic and it happened and impacted their business. But they had a small agile team that said, look, we have some needs around learning. We need to continue to train our workforce. And what we're going to do is we're going to deploy learning on our own. And they deployed learning in about 6 weeks during the pandemic in the March timeframe, with only a handful of days from consulting to help them, with 2 engineers. And they were able to get live, and they've had thousands of employees go through and complete courses. But they were even more ambitious than just deploying learning. They deployed the help desk as well. A little bit longer time frame, about 5 to 6 months. 3 application engineers, but now they're live. I think they have 80 advisors that are using this system, and they process about 370 cases a day. So great example of a company or customer that's operating at scale in the cloud, able to demonstrate their agility with a cloud solution. Poste Italiane. So, I'm Italian, so this is a great story. So the Italian Post. So the Italian Post is another great story of a customer that had just started to pilot our learning solution. And obviously Italy was hit very hard by the pandemic, and they needed to roll out training very, very rapidly to all of their postal carriers. And so they scaled in a matter of weeks from a 3,000 employee pilot to 130,000 employees in a very short period of time. And in the last 6 months, they've completed over 1 million learning courses. So huge success, great story from the Italian Post. So those were just a few great examples of our heroes, our customers that have done a tremendous job in managing through this pandemic. Still going on, but some great examples thus far. The next area that I want to talk about is how you can outpace change. And as I said earlier, it might seem counterintuitive, but now is the time to start thinking about how you prepare your organization to be more agile. Like the Cooperative Group example that I gave, operating the cloud, having a small agile team that can deliver solutions. So we're going to be talking about 4 key innovations that we're delivering to enable you to outpace change. So very excited. We have some really cool announcements here. First is around mobilizing talent effectively. And we're going to talk about our opportunity marketplace, and I'm going to show you a little bit about what that does. But the key is really whenever there's a disruption and you need to move talent onto a specific initiative, you can leverage our capabilities and our opportunity marketplace to do that. Next is we deliver a ton of best practices directly in our system, libraries of configurations and rules. And we're going to talk to you about some new ones that we're delivering, but also how you can be agile because of these delivered best practice libraries in our system. Then we're going to talk about connected people analytics. Beyond our operational information that we provide, we're providing a warehouse on top where you can get information at your fingertips very, very quickly with predefined dashboards and those types of capabilities. And we'll give you some examples of what that looks like in the system. And then what I'm most excited about is a brand new capability called Journeys. And it's really about journeys that enable change. I call them journeys that matter, but creating these multi-step processes to really help your employees, your workers prosper between the time they start and leave the organization. So 4 great innovations. We'll be talking about all of them. And you know I love to demonstrate the product, so you'll be seeing a little bit of each one. So let's start with mobilizing talent effectively. So initially when we decided to build an opportunity marketplace, we were thinking more about what it meant for employees to grow their skills, to expand their horizons so they can find new opportunities in the organization. But quickly we realized that we could use this capability called the Opportunity Marketplace to allow organizations to mobilize the resources that they need onto a particular initiative, especially in the time of disruption. So you want to be able to move quickly, find resources, and put them on specific projects. And Opportunity Marketplace does a great job of doing that, allowing you to define short-term projects or gigs and allowing your employees to be able to find what's best for them and fill those really needed roles in a time of need. So great opportunity to move resources and talent exactly where you need them in a very short period of time. That's operating with agility, that's outpacing change. But what does it mean to the employees? So the employee, when this first hit, I know my employees, the first thing they were concerned about is their job. I mean, they were worried about themselves, what this means to them. But the second thing, and human nature is, we all want to help out. And we all want to do what we can in order for us to help our organization get through whatever pain that they're feeling. And so Opportunity Marketplace is a great chance to build a culture, an inclusive culture, a culture of giving back, and where employees can feel empowered and be able to assist the organization and help them. And it also makes them feel like they're more secure because they're working on a project that is critical to the business. So I'm so excited about it. I want to show you a little bit what we're doing. And let's go to the demonstration, and I'm going to show you a little bit about what it looks like, what the Opportunity Marketplace looks like in the system. So first, I'm going to start with our homepage. So many of you have seen our newsfeed homepage. So this is a dynamic homepage. But what's nice here is you see that the ability for your employees to come in and they can see that we're asking them to check out some exciting new gigs. So we're offering them the ability to see what's happening in the system and for them to find a potential opportunity that might excite them. So they can go ahead and click on that and they come to the Opportunity Marketplace. The Opportunity Marketplace, very simple to understand system. You have jobs, which are long-term assignments, and then you have gigs, very easily identified short-term temporary assignments where you're mobilizing talent onto a specific problem. So here I have my interests, which is a little bit about my background, and it's pushing these gigs that I'd be qualified for. So I can go ahead and select this virtual conference. And these are really COVID related. We've had to pivot and put some short-term assignments that we need help on. So I can go in and I can see this is a virtual conference. I can read a little bit about the gig. I can see the related skills that I might need. I can select a couple videos if I want to, see what others have done. I can see who my team is. So a lot of great simple information. This is not a, a long-term assignment. This is a short-term, maybe 2-week, maybe 4-week, maybe 6-week gig where I can go in and have an impact on my business. So I'm going to go ahead and apply for that. I'm excited for this opportunity. And the system's going to give me an opportunity to update my profile. If there's anything I want to add to make sure I'm best positioned in order for me to get this opportunity, I'm going to go ahead and click on and go to my profile. And this is our brand new connections area where you can connect with different people, but I can update my profile. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to edit my profile. And I'm going to actually use our Skills Assistant, an AI-based skills ontology, to recommend some additional skills that relate to what I've done and the job that I'm fulfilling today. And I'm going to select a few additional skills that I care about or that I think would help me in this particular assignment. Planning and organizing seems appropriate, and I'm going to save that. And just like that, I've updated my skills in the system that are going to help me get this job. But I also want to make sure that they know a little bit about me and know how to pronounce my name and maybe a little snippet on something fun I want to put in my persona introduction. So one of the things that we've added here is the ability to create an introduction video so you can briefly introduce yourself and show a little bit about your personality. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this. And this is just the ability to have an introduction video here, and it'll play, and it can be you introducing yourself, or it can be a cute little video that you want to show. But very easily, I've updated my skills, and I've updated my profile, and now I can give a little information. Excited about the role, and can't type. There you go. I'm excited about the role, and I'm going to go ahead and submit that. So in a matter of, if I wasn't talking, in a matter of a couple minutes, I've applied for a gig, and that's going to allow our organization to get the resources they need on the right projects and allow me to show what I can do. But beyond that, I've also have a gig out there myself. And so I'm going to show you how easy it is to select someone for a gig. And I'm a manager, and I've created a gig on my own. It's a content marketing writer. So very easily I could select and see the candidates. I've already reviewed this numerous times, so I know all about these candidates. Stephanie has been the top of my list. If I wanted to view her profile, I could do that very easily. Go back into our very beautiful profile. I can see where she is in the org chart. I could see her skills. But I've already had my eye on Stephanie for this particular role, and I need to make a decision quickly because we got to move forward. So I'm going to assign Stephanie that role. And just like that, I have assigned someone to a gig, as well as I've assigned myself the opportunity to work on a new assignment. And so what are the outcomes? So what happened here was, from an organization perspective, you want to operate at pace and at speed, and the Opportunity Marketplace allows you to put critical resources in time of disruption on the projects that you need to minimize disruption. It allows you to get the most out of your employees and have the most productive workforce possible. And from an employee perspective, they feel valued. They feel part of the culture and the organization. They feel like they're giving back. So great outcomes, great solution. And hopefully you got the sense on how this allows you to act with speed and be more agile. The next area that we're going to talk about is how we're delivering best practices in the system. So again, trying to outpace change, trying to act with speed and with agility. One of the things that you can look to is how you can reconfigure your system based on new requirements. So many of us, as part of the pandemic, had to change our system. Maybe we had to add an extra step in an approval process because we wanted to make sure that HR or somebody was added. Maybe we need to add a different absence type. Or maybe we needed to lock down a process so everybody didn't change their work location from the office to work from home until we know more about when we'll be able to return to the office. And obviously there's pay implications if you make those types of changes. So by delivering libraries of best practices, it allows you to be more agile, more nimble. It lowers the cost of not only initial deployment, but ongoing changes to the system because it's much easier to pick a rule off the shelf, a configuration, a workflow, a process, and change it 5 or 10% than it is to create a brand new rule or configuration or workflow from scratch. So the more best practices you can deliver in the system, the more agile your organization can be. So when we were going through this, I asked the teams, let's go back and take another look at how many libraries of business best practices we deliver in our system. And here's just a sampling of those. I'm going to talk about the new one that we're announcing today, but we have over 400 HR business processes that are delivered and configured and part of Design Studio that I'll show you what that looks like. Same in talent management. We have industry-specific processes. So if you're a unionized workforce or you have represented workers, we have special rules that we deliver out of the box that you can reconfigure. We have over 200 localizations that we deliver in the system as rules that you can use out of the box or you can copy and make a change. Maybe you want to ensure that somebody always updates their ethnicity so you can track diversity and inclusion metrics in your organization. So you might want to make that a mandatory field. You can do that extremely easily by just simply reconfiguring that rule. Predefined analytics, governance, we have a whole library of segregation of duties capabilities so you can make sure that you're secure and people have access to the right responsibilities. But what we're announcing today is Autocomplete Controls. So we have hundreds of autocomplete controls that can be configured to 1,500 or more different configurations that you can pull a validation rule or pull a defaulting rule off of the shelf and put it into your system and make sure that your employees are staying within compliance, make sure your employees aren't changing their assignment outside of the policies that you want them to. So these types of autocomplete validation and defaulting rules have never been delivered in a SaaS platform before. This is always something that was customized on premise. We're now delivering these best practice libraries of validation and defaulting rules in our system for the first time. And I'm going to show you a little bit about what that looks like. So let's go back to the demonstration, and I'm going to give you a really quick snapshot of how these rules work in the system. And then I'm going to show you how easy it is for an HR practitioner, an HR specialist to be able to configure the system and not always have to rely on an IT expert or someone with a technical background. So let me go ahead and show you what the system would look like if I wanted to lock down our change location system. And I know this is something that we've had to do internally at Oracle, is we don't want, since most of us are working from home, if not all of us, we have a few frontline workers that are in the office, but for the most part, everybody's working from home, but we don't want everybody to change their work location to their home location until we make some decisions as we get past the pandemic. So we want to make sure that that transaction is not happening. So something very easy to do, seems simple, but I'll show you how easily you can make that change. But let me show you what the change looks like first in the system. So here I am. I'm going to change the location. And the first rule that I've configured that I'm going to hit here is when I go in, this is at the worker's request, and I'm going to change this person's location today. Let's just start the process. I've locked down the system, so the system says, look, location change could be to a different geography. We have some pay implications that could come into play, so I don't want to make changes outside of our pay periods. So we're only going to allow those changes to be done on the 1st and the 16th. So we'll make this October 1st, and now the system lets me go to the next step in the transaction. And from a location perspective, look, I'm going to change Jen Jacobs. She wants to work from home. I'm going to let her work from home, but we're not ready to do that as an organization. So this is a configured warning message that you can configure yourself. I'm going to show you how to do it. That stops you and provides you the information. Hey, look, we're not letting everybody change their work location to home just yet. We're going to make some decisions later in the year. So just hold on. Stay what you're doing, continue to work from home. That's the policy that we have, but let's not change in the system our work location just yet. So something that simple could take days, weeks to configure in the system. Maybe it's a custom rule in an on-premise system. You have to get IT involved to do it. No more. So we have a great capability called the Experience Design Studio. Gave it a great name. It's all about the experience. But I'm going to show you how easy it is to configure that change location process. And then I'm going to show you the autocomplete controls that we have in the system. So let me first go into, I'm going to show you in person details if I want to add the ability for, if you're going to update your person details, we want to capture what ethnicity you are. And this is more for our diversity and inclusion reporting. I'm going to make this a required field. So something as simple as that, I can go in and update diversity and inclusion, and I can show that this is visible and this is required. So now something that simple, and again, I'm changing it from not required to required. This rule already exists in Design Studio, and I can save and close that, and I've updated that rule. Now we'll capture ethnicity in the system, but let me show you what it looks like. I want to turn on the location field, and let me find change location. It's right here. And I want to show working from home in our system, and I'll show you how easy it is to make sure that that region and that field is turned on. And it's extremely, Experience Design Studio is extremely easy to configure. If I only wanted to do this for our US operations, I could do that, or I could do it for all operations. I would come down here and I would select location, and this rule already exists, and it's visible. So that region and that field is now visible in the change location process flow. But now let's go into the autocomplete rules. So autocomplete rules, again, are validation and defaulting logic that I'm going to show you how easy it is to configure the system to support those. So let's go down. And first, I'm going to look at the when and why region. So this is when do you want this to happen? And what's the reason code or the reason you want it to happen? So I jump in. I have a lot of rules that already exist. Again, pulling them off the shelf. Future start dates. I have warning on reason code. I have error in terminating an employee. So we don't want to. So this is one, a personal rule that other customers have worked with us to define. I don't want to terminate someone that's on leave of absence, so I want to stop that transaction from happening. So these are great examples of rules that you can deliver by picking them off the shelf and maybe tweaking them or just using them exactly the way they are. And I'll show you just one more on worker assignment. So just additional rules related to the worker assignment. I want a validation on change location for the worker. And so these rules are extremely easy to select, pull off the shelf, and leverage in your system. So what we've defined here is a very large library of delivered best practices across our entire system. What this does at implementation time is it lowers the total cost of ownership of using this system. But what it also does is allows you as a HR specialist or HR operations person or CHRO to be really agile in configuring your system when disruption happens or you need to make changes in your system extremely quickly. Experience Design Studio, very simple. It's an HR configuration tool, not an IT configuration tool. Has best practices built in, so you only have to tweak the rule just a little bit. And you can do this at speed and at scale. So delivered best practices is a great part of the system. We've been delivering this for years. The autocomplete validation and defaulting capabilities that we're delivering now have been gathered from about 50 of our most strategic customers that we've been working with that needed some of these capabilities. We built this library over the last 18 months, and now you can take advantage of all of these rules by picking them up and dropping them into your system and providing a little bit more guidance. Great capability. And let's go on to talk about connected people analytics. So one of the things that we hear all the time is I need better strategic information about what's happening in my system. I need to know about diversity and inclusion. I need to have triggers that alert me when something changes. I want to look at retention across multiple dimensions. And I want to do this and have this information available to me in hours, not weeks, not months, not years. And so what we've built or what we've delivered with Connected People Analytics is a warehouse-based solution that is connected to our HCM cloud system, so you can get it up and running in literally hours versus weeks or months that it would take you to do something else. And what it has in it is best practices around role-based dashboards, decks, cards. It has hundreds of key performance indicators where you can configure thresholds, great visualizations. I'm going to show you what they look like in the system. It also allows you to mash up data from not only your HCM system, but your ERP system as well. So you can start to get the cost of different items from your HR system. So you can see the cost of hire, the cost to train, all of those things that we've always wanted to do are now at our fingertips. And then we can bring in third-party benchmark data. This is something we've been asked for years. So now we can bring in third-party benchmark data, and that allows us to compare ourselves against others in our industry across different benchmarks to see how we're doing. So a great new addition to our analytics family. And let me show you quickly what that looks like actually in the system. So let's jump back into the demonstration. And again, we're in our newsfeed homepage. And if you scroll down, we have a series of small little infolets where you can have a peek into what's happening from a system perspective, from an operations perspective, because the information that we have in our HCM cloud is very operational in nature. So I can see things like how many campaigns are out there. So simple things like that. But if I want to see some more strategic analytic information, now we can marry up the power of connected people analytics into our HCM cloud. And I can see things like survey data, and we'll take a look at what that looks like. I can see diversity and inclusion data, which is one of the analytic areas that we've delivered. And I can drill down on this and see some reports related to that infolet that shows up on my homepage, so I can see what's happening related to diversity and inclusion. So I can look at what my mix looks like. I can look at it from an age perspective to see how it is across the age bands. I can see team effectiveness, which is a metric that, key performance indicator that gets delivered, or a series of them as part of the Connected People Analytics solution. So I can see across different business units, across different effectiveness metrics, and see how we're performing. We also, the system also can generate some verbiage based on what it's seeing, and it leverages some capabilities around artificial intelligence and machine learning to pull this information out and talk to you about what's happening in the system and what the system is seeing. So some great things there. As well as I have the ability to share. So if I see something I don't like, I can share this with my manager and ask them some questions. So very easy to do that. And if I want to drill further, we have additional things that we can show. And again, when you create these dashboards based on the information that you want and the flows that you want to see, this happens to be a tag cloud here based on some surveys, some engagement surveys that we've asked our associates to participate in. So I can see what the layout looks like. Green is good, red is not so good. And I can start to get some additional color about our diversity program and what's happening internally. So a real simple way to bring together pre-delivered dashboards, analytics with our operational information that we have in the system and create a cohesive solution for managers to get the information that they need to make decisions more quickly, especially in the age of disruption. So what are the outcomes that come from this? So when you deliver best practices, best practice analytics, dashboards, KPIs, you can get up to speed very, very quickly, and you can deploy this solution in literally hours, not days, weeks, or months. You have great visualizations that have information that you can share with others, providing you visibility into what's happening in your organizations across many dimensions. And you can bring in third-party benchmark information so you can benchmark yourself against others in your industry so you can set targets on how you want to improve. So again, providing a level of agility that you need in order to manage through any time of disruption. Now, let's go to probably the most exciting innovation that we're delivering. Is all about journeys that enable change. So one of the things that we wanted to deliver was a consumer-grade employee experience platform that allowed you to create a multi-step set of processes to help your employees and managers grow their career with great experiences that will help them do that and help them manage through maybe tough situations or changes in their own lives. And so we'll talk more about what that looks like, but what are the employee experiences that we have today? And I always kind of joke, we really have two employee experiences that our employees go through. The first one that we spend a ton of time on is the onboarding experience. We want that onboarding experience to be the best because that's the first impression that they have. So we make sure they get their computer, they get backpacks and mouse pads with our company logo on it, and they meet with a career coach, all the things that we want them to do when they onboard. And then we never talk to them again, or we never give them a similar experience until they're ready to leave the organization. And then the second experience they have is the offboarding experience, where they rate their manager, they say what competitor they're going to, and then they return all the stuff that we gave them when they first came on. So those are the two I call bookend experiences that we provide for our employees. And so what we wanted to do was to provide this consumer-grade employee experience platform that allowed you to create these great experiences for things that happen in the middle. And beyond that, we know that there's daily experiences or daily journeys that your employees go on that they want to ask ad hoc questions. And today, the way they do that is they go to a 20-year-old SharePoint portal and they look at all the links on the portal to find the one they want, or they use a search box that has low relevance factor, and that's the experience that they have today. So we want to take the experience and move it to the 21st century. So we want to move beyond the bookends of onboarding and offboarding and deliver employee experiences in the middle. And these employee experiences are things that your employees will care about. How to grow my career, how to manage health and wellness through this pandemic, how to reboard your employees as they've been working from home and now they need to come back into the office. And this is a very serious situation. Maybe they need to take a COVID test. Maybe they need to sign some documents. There's information they need to know, and you need to make sure that they go through this process. So you can create reboarding journeys. You can create life change journeys. So had a baby or got married. So you can create these great employee experiences that are going to make your employees really feel like they're cared for, and the culture of your organization will change in a more positive way because you're helping them manage their life, grow their career, meet others in the organization, all through a consumer grade employee experience. If you can't tell, I'm super excited about journeys, and journeys that matter are the most important. Let's go into the product and let me show you a little bit about what journeys that matter look like. All right, come on. So first, if you don't know by now, we have a digital assistant. The digital assistant is an AI-based solution to help you manage what I'll call daily journeys. So these are a 21st century conversational way for your employees to interact, get questions answered, the simple journeys that end up over time having a big impact on how your employees feel about your organization. If they feel it's modern, it's consumer grade, the tools that you provide them are great, they're gonna have a much better perception of what goes on. So first, let me go ahead and log on to type in or let the system know that I got married. So congratulations to me, got married. So something that simple. I don't have to go and find it in the system. The system's gonna help me in this kind of ad hoc journey. What is the date that I got married? I got married August 20th, 2020. So just a recent marriage, congratulations. No honeymoon during the pandemic. Yes, this is accurate. So now what the system is going to do is that daily journey, that ad hoc journey, has turned into a multi-step consumer-grade employee experience and is saying, hey, we have a marital status journey. Congratulations, you just got married. Let us help you make sure that you do the right things organizationally to make sure that you've updated benefits and dependents, and I'll show you what that looks like. But it's kicked off based on that change of an attribute in my personal details from not married to married. It's like on Facebook, not married to married. However, we help you manage your entire life in our system. So we'll go to that journey in just a second. But beyond that, this 21st century way to interact with your broader organization is a platform. So not only can we deliver journeys, ad hoc journeys, daily journeys, questions that your employees have with information we have in our system, we can connect to any system that you have. So you might have a COVID FAQ, you might have a separate knowledge management system where you want to pull documents from so you can share them with your employees. But instead of going to that 20-year-old SharePoint portal, here you can you can communicate conversationally. I'm doing it through clicks, but I could be talking to the system, and very easily I asked a question about return to work, what are the policies, and it's come back and gave me a few documents, could be a video, could be anything to help me understand what is the policy and how I should return to work safely. So very, very easily, these are ad hoc journeys, daily journeys, and the key with our digital assistant, it's not just the skills that we deliver as part of our HR system. We have 35 skills, thousands of conversations, but any system you can connect to. But let's go to the more multi-step employee experience journeys that I talked about just a second ago. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on journeys. And these are the journeys that I've already been asked to complete. So these can be fun journeys. These can be career development journeys. So here, I've already completed my return to work journey. Again, multi-step process, had to fill out some documents, and I had to complete that journey before I was allowed to come back into the office. So we've done that, that's great. I have a well-being journey. I haven't started that yet, but I need to. Mental health and wellness during this isolation period is really important. So my company's showing that they care by offering that journey. I have a grow your career journey. We're going to do that in just a second. And then I have a you got married journey. Congratulations, you got married. And these are just helpful steps that you should go through in order for you to make sure that you've done everything in the system that you need to do. So this is maybe more administrative journey, but your employees will know that you care about them because you offered them a marital status change journey. But I'm going to go grow your career. So this is one where I'm going to show you the video here, but I have a welcome video. So while this is playing and you can see it going, this video is embedded. It's right in the screen. This can come from a third party, of course, that you can embed here, and it's dynamic. And it's showing me Opportunity Marketplace, and it's explaining to me how I can get involved as we're mobilizing resources. So it's walking through a very simple way for me to get involved as part of this Grow My Career journey. And we don't need to see this completely finished, but really, really awesome video here. Really helped me understand how I can get involved. I can gain insights, all this great stuff. So I've completed the first step in my journey. Welcome. And now I'll show you how other steps could look or would look. So I could have a career development component of it. So want to make sure that I'm looking at new roles that might be available to me. So if I come into my career development area, maybe I can look for a role as a new assignment here. I can see what the competencies are. I can make this private. This senior manager role, maybe not perfect for me, so I'm not gonna go for it right now. And but I have that available. So my company's pushing this information to me and helping me grow my career. I might have a mentor, and it might be the time for me to check in with my mentor, or it might be the time for me to request a mentor, and you can do that in the system as well. We have capabilities to request a mentor. Here's just the check-in process to make sure I'm doing that. And the key part of journeys is it's not just based on tasks or information we have within our HR system. This is an employee experience platform. So here, it's a link to an industry conference. It could be embedded third-party page. It could be a custom form that you can build in our system. It could be a video. So this employee experience journey allows you to build experiences that cut across the enterprise. And you're just looking at a few of them here. So I showed you a couple things. The first component of our consumer-grade employee experience journeys that we're delivering is the daily ad hoc journey. So this is, again, moving from that 20-year-old SharePoint portal where you all go and find things that you want to get done to a 21st century conversational experience, consumer grade that you're used to, that's not only AI and ML guided, multilingual, but it supports multiple social channels that you might have within your organization, like Slack or like Teams. So if you have these daily questions, you don't have to go and log into the HR system. You could be in Slack, you could be in Teams, you could be in SMS, and you could get access to all of the questions that I was asking here. You could update I got married, you could be pushed to a got married journey, you could have your FAQ, all of that conversational and can be pushed to all of the social networks that you have or you may have within your organization. And then the broader multi-step consumer-grade employee experience, like Grow Your Career or Return to Work or You Got Married, is part of our broader journeys platform that we're delivering. And remember, it's not just for information in our system. It's a platform that allows you to pull in third-party pages, connect to third-party sites, allows you to create custom forms, pull in videos. So these are truly journeys that matter. every single transaction in your world doesn't matter. The daily interactions, when you have questions about your pay or your absence or things that's important to you, as well as these critical career journeys or life-changing journeys where you can show your employees that you care, you can help them make the right decisions and grow their career, creating a great employee engagement platform for your employees. So hopefully you're as excited as I am on the 4 innovations that we're delivering. A lot more in the fall launch, but those are some of the big ones that help you outpace change in this new era of disruption. Now let's go into and talk a little bit about how you can partner with us and what it means to partner with us. So have you ever wanted to connect with HR professionals, HR specialists, technical specialists that cover HR, ask them questions about your system or what's happening in your industry, and get to know different people, share ideas about where you think the product should be going, sign up for webcasts? Well, you can. We have something called Cloud Customer Connect, and that is an online cloud community for your HR professionals, your HR IT people to come together as a community and share ideas and interact with one another in a great community. I'm excited to show you how much this community has grown. So when we think about the community, it is 55,000 members strong. Significant membership and growth over the last year. 76% growth over the last year, which means people are finding value from it. And I'll talk to you about the types of value that they're getting. But one of the reasons and one of the differences that we offer in this community is we allow any employee in your organization to sign up. It's not just you get 5 spots or 10 spots. Any employee that wants to learn more about what their system, interact with others, see webcasts, share ideas, they can sign up. So 76% growth. We have 5,400 member organizations. We had over 1.5 million unique page views. So it's a really incredible dynamic community. And I talked about this earlier, our dedication to partnering with you as it relates to COVID. We had over 3,000 COVID hours delivered from development in the form of, answering questions, having office hours, posting configurations to help you, all of those things to make the community extremely strong. And again, anybody at your company is available to sign up and be part of our cloud community. When we talk about culture, so the one aspect of culture that we want to make sure is we have a learning culture. We want inquisitive users, customers to come to our site and ask us questions. And these are some of the metrics around the questions that they're asking. We had 500 ideas posted just last month. And these are new ideas that we should consider and think about putting into the product. We had 14,000 idea endorsements in just calendar year 2020 alone, and the calendar year is not over. We've had delivered on 5,000 ideas to date. And one of the things that we value the most on what we deliver is when an idea reaches a certain threshold number of endorsements, we have a 91% eligible ideas prioritized. That means that we prioritize and put into our roadmap 91% of the ideas that reach that threshold. And the statistic that I'm most proud about is we deliver 80% of the features in every single release are sourced from customers. And many of them come from customers from this community through the Ideas Lab. And then from a COVID perspective, hugely popular, 3,000 hours we've dedicated, over 7,500 posts and replies and views in the COVID forum. And the COVID forum is more than just features. It's questions about the payroll tax. It's questions about how you manage furloughs in our system. It's questions about how you can create new absence types to track the different types of absences. Maybe you're sick and you have to quarantine for 14 days, or you're caring for a loved one and you want to track that differently. And in some countries, there's tax implications implications for doing it properly. So helping our customers through these discussion threads and office hours really have a high impact. And then collaboration. So this is one that shows that people are listening, right? When you log a post, every single post that is logged has 5 responses on average and 20 views. So people are listening. It's not like a tree falling in the forest, right? I mean, you log a response or a post and you're getting responses. Another thing I'm super proud about is we spend a lot of time on education and training and learning from each other. I mean, that's the whole part of collaboration. So we had over 250 virtual events just in calendar 2020. So just this year, we've had over 250 events. Participants in each event, shockingly, we have over 200 participants on average in every event. And that equates to about 52,000 virtual event attendees in just this year. So just think about all those trainings. So we do what's new training. We bring customers on and talk about their experience around certain modules. Partners come and talk about best practices and things that they've learned during implementations. We have design jams. I mean, there's a ton of content that we deliver. And obviously it's popular if you're getting 200 attendees for every one of these events that we host. So great as it relates to collaboration. So I'm really, really excited on the Customer Cloud community. It's a great way to collaborate. Also, as part of that community, we started this last year. So this is the second year we've had Project Elevate. So what Project Elevate is a number of partners that we've worked with. They've brought together a series of fixed priced services, packaged services that you can pull off the shelf to help you maximize the benefits that you're receiving from the HCM cloud. Increase your success rate, improve efficiency. So these can be things like, simplify your security, build a set of reports, move to our newsfeed user experience and optimize your experience. Can be, transition from Taleo to the great Oracle Recruiting Cloud. So these are off-the-shelf packages that these partners have put out there that you can pick up and help drive greater efficiencies, adopt new capabilities faster, and get them into your environment so you can have quick wins and continue to evolve the system that you've deployed. So Project Elevate is something that I'm extremely proud about. You can find it on our Customer Connect community and find a great opportunity for you to take advantage of these services that these great partners are providing. And then how do you get involved? So if you haven't noticed, I'm passionate about the partnership that we have with you. So we want you to get involved. We want you to give us feedback. We love the feedback. We love the partnership. So first and foremost, sign up for Cloud Customer Connect. Anybody, as long as they're a cloud customer, can sign up. You'll get an ID, plenty of things, so many things that you can do and connect and meet with other people. We have advisory opportunities, so we have a customer advisory board. You're all eligible to participate. We do ask that you participate and give us feedback. We really want to learn from you so we can continue to improve our solutions. And there's plenty of industry user groups that you can participate in, so some great opportunities there. We have executive leadership council, so if you have a C in your title, CHRO or VP or higher level, we have these executive forums to talk about kind of what's next, what you're thinking, what industry trends are important to you and your organization. So please get involved. We love your feedback and love to hear from you. And what's the call to action? So we're proud of all the heroes that were able to pivot with agility, and we try to do everything we can to partner with you and help get through this pandemic, even though there's still more to go, help kick this off and do whatever we could to offer our services to you. We had 4 great innovations that we talked about, some really cool ones, highlighted by journeys and the consumer grade employee experience. All of these are part of our system today, part of the fall launch. You'll see some more things coming out, but a great launch and some great innovations that we're delivering. And if you didn't get it from the last section, partnering with us is critical to our success, helps us both get better, and we really do appreciate the partnerships that we have with all of you. So I just wanted to say thank you for spending the time with us. This is important for our success. I want you all to be safe, and thank you very much.